When is it better to stay silent? What value does silence have in a world inundated with the constant noise of conflicting opinions? In the journey of life, we all face moments of discord and conflict. These are instances when it feels like the weight of the world is upon us, and chaos and despair reign within us. However, amid these storms, it is vital to remember that we are not alone on our path. That's why in this video, we have compiled a series of meticulously chosen inspirational lessons to accompany you on your journey. I invite you to stay until the end, where you will find valuable lessons to strengthen all your plans in the face of any adversity, thanks to the power of silence. Now, if you are new here, please like the video and subscribe. Statistics show that only 15% of my audience is subscribed to the channel, so if this content has helped you in any way, I ask you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now, let's start this transformative journey together. These words are intended to be a balm for the soul, a reminder that adversity is fleeting and strength resides within you, waiting to be awakened. Whether you are going through a personal crisis, facing struggles, or simply need a boost in your daily life, these lessons will provide you with support, motivation, and hope. Therefore, we invite you to open your heart and mind to these powerful words, allowing them to penetrate you, nourish your spirit, and uplift your mood. Together, we can transform darkness into light and find the strength to move forward. 1. How to control anger. At some point, we have all felt our hearts sink with fury. It could be during a tense moment with a co-worker while trying to find common ground for a project, discovering a relationship is ending, or when our beloved child ignores our words. Feelings of anger often arrive quickly, like a storm from deep within, destroying reason and leaving behind a trail of regret and pain. When this happens, Stoicism can help us face these strong feelings with reason and compassion. When anger begins to burn within us, we can recall the story of Seneca, a Stoic philosopher who was betrayed by a friend. Instead of getting angry, Seneca reflected on it and understood that anger is often worse for us than the cause itself. He chose to address the situation with empathy and understanding, knowing that everyone is fighting their own internal battles. To deal with anger, the first step is to recognize and accept it clearly. This does not mean hiding or denying your feelings. It means understanding and accepting them as a normal part of being human. Next, examine what is truly making you angry. Is it a feeling of helplessness in a situation you cannot change, or is it frustration over unmet expectations? Once you know what is really infuriating you, you can use Stoic logic to view the situation more objectively. Remember that anger usually does not solve the problem, it makes it worse. Ask yourself how you can turn this anger into positive action, a valuable lesson. Think of converting your anger into motivation for personal growth and better relationships with others. For example, if you are angry with a co-worker over a misunderstanding, you could talk about it and clarify things instead of seeking revenge, which would build a stronger working relationship. Stoicism not only helps us control our anger, but also teaches us how to use it to grow as individuals and learn more about others. Practicing anger management is important for maintaining our relationships and mental health. Here are some ways to deal with anger. Understand what is happening. Know the mental and physical signs that you are getting angry. Take a break. If you start to feel angry, relax using techniques like deep breathing or progressive muscle relaxation. Express your feelings instead of keeping them inside. Identify your triggers and try to avoid them. Challenge your negative thoughts and practice empathy. If anger is hindering your relationships, work, or quality of life, consider seeking professional help. Adopt healthy lifestyle habits such as exercising regularly, eating healthy foods, getting enough sleep, and not abusing drugs or alcohol. Remember, controlling your anger is a skill you can learn over time and with practice. Allow yourself time and enjoy the small achievements along the way. 2. Against injustice. When we face injustice, it is not only a test of fairness, but also a lesson in the strength of the spirit. Stoic philosophy teaches us not only how to control our responses, but also how to find peace within ourselves when life becomes difficult. Stoics do not believe that silence means giving up or accepting something without reason. Instead, they see it as a powerful choice that helps us face and overcome injustice without losing our inner peace. Consider an example. You are an experienced worker who has worked hard for your company, but one day you discover that a less experienced colleague has been promoted instead of you. You feel treated unjustly, and your self-esteem is hurt. However, instead of getting angry or disappointed, you decide to reflect on the situation and reassess your worth and what you truly want in your career. You should not let emotions cloud your judgment. Do something to improve your skills and learn more instead of remaining passive and letting bad feelings accumulate. Through this example, we can see that when we remain silent and in control, we not only avoid hurting others or ourselves with careless words, but also have the opportunity to find our inner strength. When we face injustice, silence is not just a defense mechanism, it is also a way to find the best and most effective solution. Silence helps us connect with our essence and the depth of our values, building a solid foundation for action. As Marcus Aurelius said, the best response to anger is silence. Instead of reacting with anger or getting carried away by emotions, the power of silence helps us stay in control and positive about the broader perspective of life. This not only helps us manage any problem with serenity, but also makes us stronger and more resilient in any situation. With the power of silence, we can face any problem life presents us with. It is not just about accepting them, but turning them into opportunities to grow. This is the inspiration and encouragement that Stoic philosophy gives us to become stronger and more autonomous in life. It is normal to feel a wide range of emotions when something is unjust, such as frustration, anger, disappointment, or even sadness. However, how you react to unfair treatment can greatly affect the situation and your health. If someone is treating you unfairly, here are some things you can do. Accept your feelings. Allow yourself to feel what you are feeling. Do not try to hide your feelings. Be aware of them and accept them. Evaluate the scenario. Take a step back and observe the situation without prejudice. Try to discover why you think it is wrong and consider if there are factors or perspectives you have not considered. Seek another perspective. Talk about what is happening with someone you trust. An external view can help you understand things better and perhaps see them from a different angle. Choose your response. Decide what you will do about the wrong. It is easy to act without thinking, but taking a moment to think about your options can help you make better decisions. Communicate assertively. If appropriate, calmly and directly express your feelings and concerns to the right people. Explain why you think the situation is wrong and what you would like to happen to correct things. Focus on what you can control. Know that you may not be able to change some parts of the situation. Do not overthink those things. Instead, focus on things you can change, such as your own actions and attitudes. Seek justice through appropriate channels. If the injustice is significant and has real effects, you may want to seek justice through appropriate channels, such as filing an official complaint or speaking with a lawyer. Take care of yourself. Dealing with injustice can be emotionally difficult, so make sure to put your own needs first. Engage in activities that help you relax and recover, such as yoga, meditation, spending time with loved ones, or hobbies. Let go of resentment. Holding on to anger towards someone or something you think is wrong can harm your health in the long run. You must forgive others, not because they deserve it, but for your own peace of mind. Use the time spent dealing with situations as an opportunity to learn and grow. Think about what you learned and how you can better handle similar problems in the future. Remember, you can choose how to react to the things that happen to you. Not always what is being strong, self-aware, and taking positive action when you encounter injustices can help you overcome difficult situations more easily and honestly. 3. The storm of insults. Before starting the lesson, allow me to tell you a story about John, a famous Stoic philosopher and politician. John was known for his unwavering loyalty to his ethical principles. Often, his colleagues mocked him for it, but he never wavered. His life is a vivid example of the Stoic belief that true strength lies in our convictions, not in external recognition. Indeed, our lives often go through difficult times. Stoics are not superstitious. They do not simply pretend not to care about insults. Instead, they recognize that others' opinions are merely personal points of view, incapable of changing one's true value. This way, they focus on controlling what they can change, not what they cannot. Moreover, controlling emotions is a skill that Stoics practice daily. Amid insults, they do not get carried away by emotions like anger or pain. Instead, they keep their spirit calm and clear, facing each challenge with patience and strength. However, the most important thing is not just controlling emotions, but also seeing situations objectively. Stoics view insults as a natural part of life and not worth losing control over. Instead of reacting with anger or pain, they keep their thoughts clear and lucid to make the right decisions and face challenges effectively. Finally, Stoic philosophy teaches us about empathy and tolerance. Instead of relating words with actions, they can choose silence or a kind word to prevent conflicts from escalating and foster more positive communication. In summary, weathering the storm of insults is not just about avoiding them. It is a process of learning and using wisdom, patience, persistence, and determination. The only way to live a free and peaceful life, even under the worst conditions, is to follow Stoic philosophy. We can live a free and peaceful life, even in the most difficult situations. 4. Facing gossip. Gossiping people will always be unfairly criticized or have rumors spread about them. What matters is not that we face these problems, but how we face and overcome them. Stoicism, which teaches us to be patient and controlled, can help us deal with problems in a strong and calm way. For example, when false rumors are spread, we should not get angry or panic. Instead, we should use reason to analyze the situation objectively and act with understanding. Silence can also be a strong and wise response. Instead of speaking to protect our honor, we should choose silence and patience, letting time and truth provide the answer. We must understand that being silent is not a sign of weakness, but of strength and self-control. Sometimes staying silent is the best way to protect ourselves and maintain calm. Remember, true strength does not come from getting angry or upset, but from being patient and confident enough to stay calm and face problems with serenity and wisdom. However, do not misunderstand me. You can stay silent and let time take its course, or you can take a smarter path. Imagine you work in a large company where rumors and news spread quickly. One day you hear a rumor that you were suddenly promoted because you pleased your boss's emotions. This rumor surprises and confuses you, but it also gives you the opportunity to practice Stoicism in real life. Instead of getting angry or worrying, you choose to stay calm and confident. The first thing you do is address this information directly, not by denying it. You meet with your boss to have an open and direct conversation to clarify the matter. Rumors about you are not only a challenge, but also an opportunity to improve your patience and confidence. According to the Stoics, you can overcome anything and come out stronger in the process. Have you ever been the target of false rumors about yourself? If so, share your story in the comment section of this video. Although dealing with gossip can be difficult, there are some things you can do to handle it well. 1. Ignore the gossip. Often gossip needs our attention to thrive. If you do nothing about it, it might disappear on its own. 2. Confront it directly. If appropriate, talk directly to the person spreading rumors. Explain how their gossip makes you feel and ask them to stop. 3. Set boundaries. Let people know that you do not like hearing or participating in gossip. 4. Change the subject. Steer the conversation towards something more positive or useful. 5. Lead by example. Do not participate in gossip. If people see that you do not spread rumors or speak ill of others, they may be less likely to include you in such conversations. 6. Seek help. If the gossip is affecting you greatly or harming your health, seek help from family, friends, or a psychologist who can provide advice and a different perspective. 7. Document and report. If the gossip turns into abuse or harassment, it is important to keep a record of instances you consider harmful or that cross a line. You can also report it to the appropriate people, such as human resources at work or the administration in a school setting. Remember, you can choose how to react to what others say, even if you cannot change what they say. Stay true to your ideals and work to improve the relationships and environments you are in. You have now reached the halfway mark of the video. I congratulate you for trying to become a better version of yourself, and I also humbly ask you to leave a comment, as it helps my channel immensely. If you do not know what to comment, just write mind over body so I know you reached this far. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Also, I've linked some books on Stoicism that helped me become the man I am today, and will also help you achieve a Stoic mindset. 5. When you are unjustly criticized. If someone unjustly criticizes you, your first reaction might be to defend yourself. However, Epictetus suggested a different approach to dealing with it. If someone says something negative about you, do not try to defend yourself by saying things like, "He did not know my other faults," or "he would have mentioned them." This is a powerful lesson in self-awareness and self-control. Everyone has to deal with criticism, especially when it is unjust. For those who have to face irrational criticism, the first thing a Stoic does is to calm down. Instead of getting angry and reacting quickly, they listen and think about what was said. This not only shows that you have self-control, but is also one of the main things that distinguish a respectable person from someone who is not. Stoics accept reality as it is, even if it can be unjust. They know that understanding is the key to mental freedom. They do not agree with injustice when they say yes. They are simply admitting that they cannot change something. When there is no way to defend yourself, silence is the only thing that can save you. It is a sign of control and the only way to prevent an unjust situation from turning into an endless fight. Having faith in silence. Being quiet is not a sign of weakness, but of confidence. A Stoic knows that being strong means more than just speaking. It also means being able to restrain oneself and wisely choose what to say. In a world full of unjust criticism and injustices, Stoic philosophy is an excellent way to gain strength and control over your life. It says that if we accept the truth, use the power of silence, and trust what is right, we will not only live an honest and patient life, but also bring hope and belief to others in a world that is often chaotic. 6. How to face loss. Loss is a truth of life and can cause deep emotions and difficult times. Loss can manifest in many ways, such as the pain of losing a loved one, the emptiness that comes with losing a job, or the void that arises when giving up something we deeply cherish. All these are inevitable parts of our journey. They can make us feel lost and powerless in the face of endless waves of despair. When we face loss, the most important thing is to accept and understand that everything is temporary. Life is like a journey through a turbulent sea with great waves and storms. Peace of mind and calm not only help us overcome difficult moments, but also form the foundation of happiness and satisfaction in life. With mental training and patience, we can face any problem with wisdom. However, Stoicism is not about trying to numb or avoid emotions. It is about accepting all emotions naturally and keeping them under control. This way, we can live a meaningful life and enjoy every moment, whether happy or sad. Facing loss is very personal and difficult to do. Here are some general things that can help you deal with the loss of a loved one, a job, a relationship, or something else important in your life. Allow yourself to grieve. It is normal to do so, and there is no right or wrong way to do it. Allow yourself to feel the emotions that accompany loss, whether it is sadness, anger, guilt, or nothing at all. Seek help. Talk to friends, family, or a support group. They can offer warmth and understanding during this difficult time. Talking to others about how you feel can help you feel less alone in your grief. Take care of yourself. Even if it is difficult, make sure to take care of yourself. This could mean holding a memorial, participating in customs or rituals, or thinking of ways to honor them through acts of service or kindness. Practice mindfulness. Deep breathing exercises, meditation, and other forms of mindfulness can help you stay present and centered when you feel very emotional. Being mindful can also help you get to know yourself better and accept how you feel. It is okay to have good days and bad days, so be kind to yourself as you go through the ups and downs of loss. Be gentle and compassionate with yourself. Reflect on what you believe. Sometimes spiritual or religious beliefs can help you feel better when you have lost someone close. Reflect on what life, death, and the future mean to you according to your own beliefs. Loss affects everyone differently, so it is important to find ways to cope that work for you. Above all, be kind, patient, and gentle with yourself as you go through this hard healing process. 7. When people boast, Stoics remain silent. Every day, we must face the problems that arise in life. According to Stoic thinking, self-control is often the key to solving these problems. Being quiet is not only a sign of inner peace, but also of patience and a deep understanding of oneself and the world around us. When someone praises you, do not let pride and complacency take over you. Instead, observe these praises with mental independence and do not let gossip or others' opinions affect you. By staying silent, you will find strength in knowing that your worth does not depend on what others think of you. The desire of the ego. In a society that values self-promotion and self-admiration, those who refuse to participate in this race may feel pressured and unstable. But mental independence and patience are considered very important traits. When people praise and flatter you, remaining silent shows that you are strong and have deep thoughts. Finally, when people praise and flatter you, remaining silent is not only a sign of self-control, but also a way to create an inner space for peace and spiritual freedom. In a world that often praises laziness and pride, Stoic thought says that being silent is a sign of strength and self-control. 8. How to navigate the seas of ignorance as a Stoic. In the journey of life, we often cross the vast seas of uncertainty, where the waves of mystery and unpredictability are always ready to test our strength. Facing these challenges is not just a battle with external problems, but also a journey of self-discovery and self-mastery. During those difficult times, Stoicism is like a light shining in the darkness, showing us how to deal with ambiguity with patience and determination. In a sea of uncertainty, we will always feel lost, but Stoicism teaches us that not knowing is not just a temporary state, but also the essence of life. Accepting that we cannot know everything in advance is normal and opens the door to discovery, learning, and growth. Facing uncertainty does not mean giving up or being afraid. Moreover, when you do not know what to say, silence is not a sign of weakness, but of power and confidence. Staying quiet helps us control our emotions, makes room for self-reflection, and makes us more aware of our own feelings and those of others. By responding maturely and deeply with the spirit of Stoicism, we not only overcome the challenges of the unknown, but also become stronger and more resilient. It is not just a journey, but a profound experience of the essence of life and existence. So please like and share this video if you can find power, depth, and peace in your own life to navigate the seas of ignorance with Stoic grace. You need to develop a mindset and do things that help you stay calm, strong, and logical when you do not know what to do or how to do it. Accepting that you do not know everything is a normal part of being human. Accept that you do not know everything there is to know. This will help you be more humble and focus on what you can control. Stoicism teaches you to let go of things you cannot change and focus on those you can. You may not know everything there is to know about a subject, but you can control how you feel, what you do, and how much effort you put into learning and improving. Practice mindfulness to stay present and be aware of your feelings and thoughts. When you do not know what to do or are unsure of what to do, observe how you react without judging yourself and decide how to respond reflectively instead of reacting impulsively. Develop resilience. You need to know that facing ignorance or setbacks is an opportunity to learn and grow. Challenges should be seen as opportunities to grow as a person and become smarter. Seek knowledge with an open mind. Admit that you do not know much, but stay interested and willing to learn. When you hear something new, keep an open mind and be ready to think about it from different perspectives. Exercise rationality. To navigate uncertainty, use reasoning instead of overwhelming yourself with what you do not know. Look at the information you have access to, ask questions, and try to get more information when you can. Accept that some things will always be beyond your control or understanding. Instead of fighting against ignorance, see it as a normal part of life, and focus your energy on things that can make a positive difference. Cultivate qualities. Work on developing qualities such as patience, courage, wisdom, and resilience. These qualities will help you stay true to yourself and maintain your peace when things get tough. Think about Stoic teachings to strengthen your mindset and actions. Reflect on Stoic teachings and ideas regularly. Stoic philosophers like Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and Seneca can help you deal with ignorance by giving you advice and direction. Practice gratitude. Be grateful for what you already know and for the opportunities you have to learn and grow. Being grateful can help you stop focusing on what you do not know and start appreciating everything you do know and the experiences you have. By following these rules and habits, you can navigate through the ocean of ignorance with Stoic ease, staying calm and strong even when you do not know what to do or what to expect. (9) The art of silence. During false rumors, Silence is not just the absence of words, but also a wise choice that can help us discover more about ourselves and the world around us from a Stoic point of view. In a world full of false information, silence is not just a sign of powerlessness, but of strength and hidden determination. When we choose silence, we not only leave space for reflection and evaluation of events with insight, but also consolidate the fact that we do not react quickly to unfounded rumors or criticism, and we do not allow our feelings or doubts to take control. Instead, we maintain our honor and morals. From the Stoic perspective, silence is not a sign of rejection or failure, but of certainty and patience. In silence, we find freedom and inner strength that empower us to face and overcome any challenge with determination and clarity. Stoics know that silence is more than just not speaking. It is a sign of mental strength and determination in action. In silence, they find the strength to reject false accusations and defend their morals. They do not allow false information to destroy their beliefs and self-confidence. Instead, they see silence as a shield that protects the soul and mind from bad external influences. Being quiet gives us peace and the power to control our feelings and defend what is right and true. Then we truly understand what silence means, not as a display of weakness, but as a sign of mental strength and clear thinking. 10. Accepting silence. When things are unclear. Silence in times of uncertainty. In today's world, full of chaos and confusion, it is normal to encounter ambiguous situations and problems. In such moments, silence is not just a choice, but an art and a noble expression of Stoic philosophy. In a society where everything seems to float in the sea of fire of information and reasoning, silence becomes a powerful resource. Instead of reacting quickly to every ray of light or shadow, we choose to remain silent, which helps us stay calm amid confusion and difficulty in understanding. Embracing silence in the face of uncertainty is not only intelligent, but also a spiritual sign of independence and sagacity. However, to truly understand and employ silence in the face of uncertainty, we need to train ourselves in self-control and not allow changes in the external world to destabilize us. We need to learn to stay calm and accept the unknown instead of succumbing to anxiety and fear. Remember, in silence, we not only find peace, but also the Stoic way of thinking. It is not just a strategy. Embracing silence when we do not know what will happen is a way of life. Use silence to demonstrate your strength and let it guide you through life's challenges and problems. According to Stoic philosophy, by listening to the voice of silence, we learn more about ourselves and the world around us. These were the 10 moments when we should choose silence to truly understand its importance and show respect. This is not only a lesson in maturity, but also the key to spiritual freedom and inner peace. By choosing to remain silent in difficult situations, we not only protect ourselves from hasty words, but also cultivate a patient, wise, and compassionate soul. In this way, silence becomes a powerful tool that helps us address and solve problems more intelligently and humanely. Now, if any part of this message has been helpful to you, leave us your like and comment, helping the algorithm recommend it to someone who needs it at this time. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss new videos. And if you look through the videos we've already uploaded, you're sure to find something to take with you. Have a good day. In this fascinating journey, we will delve into the depths of Stoicism, a philosophy that has endured through the ages and continues to resonate today with unwavering relevance. We will explore the timeless teachings of iconic figures such as Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, whose words offer us a beacon of wisdom amidst the storms of modern life. I invite you to stay until the end, where you will find valuable lessons to strengthen your plans against any adversity. Now, if you are new here, please like the video and subscribe. Statistics show that only 15% of my audience is subscribed to the channel, so if this content has helped you in any way, I ask you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now, let's start this transformative journey together. We will immerse ourselves in the practical lessons of Stoicism, learning how to face challenges with courage, accept what we cannot change, and cultivate deep inner tranquility, even in the midst of chaos. We will discover how these ancient teachings can illuminate our path towards a fuller and more meaningful existence, allowing us to find serenity in times of uncertainty and clarity in moments of confusion. Throughout this journey, we will explore exercises and practices that will help us integrate Stoic principles into our daily lives, strengthening our emotional resilience, nurturing our interpersonal relationships, and unlocking our potential for personal growth. From the art of acceptance to the importance of living in harmony with nature, each lesson brings us one step closer to realizing our true selves and achieving a more fulfilling and satisfying life. Let's begin. Remember that the present is all you have, so live it to the fullest. Accept what you cannot change and focus your energy on what you can control. Cultivate virtue as the only true good. Learn to see greatness in small things and keep a calm and serene mind in the midst of chaos. Practice self-discipline in all areas of your life. Accept the transitory nature of all things. Remember that death is inevitable and live each day as if it were your last. Practice empathy and compassion towards others. Do not worry about the judgment of others. Be true to yourself. Learn to live with little and appreciate what you have. Happiness lies in virtue, not in wealth or power. Cultivate gratitude for all life's experiences, even the adverse ones. Accept reality as it is and the inevitable changes. True freedom resides in inner freedom, not in external circumstances. Do not let fear rule your life. Face your fears with courage. Life is full of ups and downs. Learn to navigate them with wisdom and calm. Practice moderation in all things, even in the pursuit of knowledge. Do not cling to uncontrolled passions. Seek balance in everything. It is the best antidote against suffering and anxiety. Suffering comes from the interpretation we make of events, not the events themselves. Do not worry about what is beyond your control. Instead, focus on your own conduct. Cultivate indifference to things that do not depend on you. Do not judge others by their actions, but by their intentions. Happiness lies in wisdom and living in harmony with nature. Do not become too attached to your material possessions. They are fleeting. Virtue is its own reward. Do not seek external recognition. Practice mindfulness in every moment, concentrating on what is before you. Life is like a play. Learn to perform your role with grace and wisdom. Love humanity as a whole, but keep realistic expectations of individuals. Action is 10 times more valuable than reading and planning. Experience is the best teacher. There is never an interest-free relationship. In short, we are all selfish. If you are not dating to marry, you are dating to suffer. Let that sink in and have a serious relationship. Respect yourself because people can see if you do not. If you do not clear up misunderstandings in time, they become the reason for distance forever. Anyone you love can die at any moment. Cherish them. Nothing is as easy as it seems. There is no better way to save yourself than by saving money every day. Compound interest can work wonders. Good things come to those who wait and suffer. It may take time and be a long and difficult road, but it is completely and totally worth it. Whether a machine, a house, or a relationship, maintenance is always cheaper than repairs. Your respect in most places is directly proportional to your bank balance. We cry for people, but what about time? Time will not come back either. Time is everything, and one day it will define you. The things that will count are your health and your achievements. You make the best decisions when you are in pain, because the fear of experiencing that same pain again is the strongest motivator. In the darkest moments of your life, you will see more clearly. The harder your past was, the more beautiful your future will be. You may not lead a comfortable life with a single source of income. You need to build others. Most of the things you worry about never happen. You attract what you are. If you want to attract something better, become someone better. Learn to cook some basic dishes. It is a valuable life skill. Patience is power. Sometimes you have to let go of something good to make room for something better. Never tolerate disrespect, not even from yourself. Listen more than you speak, because wisdom often comes from silence. Create and stick to a personal budget. Kindness is a language that the deaf can hear and the blind can see. Worrying is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do but does not get you anywhere. You cannot start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last one. The best view comes after the hardest climb. Success does not always roar. Sometimes it is the quiet voice at the end of the day saying, "I will try again tomorrow." Never lose your sense of humor. Laughter is the best medicine for the soul. You will never find a rainbow if you are looking down. Always pay off your credit card debts. It will save you trouble later. The best revenge is massive success. The more you give, the more you receive. Tough times do not last, but tough people do. The most valuable currency is not money, but time. Spend it wisely. A ship is safe in harbor, but that is not what ships are for. The way you treat others reflects who you are, not who they are. It is not about having what you want, but wanting what you have. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Take it and make it perfect. Believe in yourself, and the rest will fall into place. Do not be afraid to take risks and try new things. Life is too short to always play it safe. Always take responsibility for your actions. It is the mark of a mature person. Breathe deeply. It is just a bad day, not a bad life. Do not say someday, say now, because someday may never come. Donate to charities. Small acts change lives. A person who does not make mistakes does nothing at all. You cannot change the direction of the wind, but you can adjust your sails to reach your destination. One day, when things are right, you will look back and be proud you did not give up. Forgive your old self. You have changed. If you do not let go of the wrong people, you will never meet the right ones. God knows exactly when to send you what you need. No regrets. Just do better next time. There will always be someone who does not see your worth. Do not let it be you. Seek respect, not attention. It lasts longer. Be careful whom you trust. Salt and sugar look the same. Remember that some things must end for better things to begin. Time always exposes what you really mean to someone. Life will separate you from your friends, so cherish every moment you have together. Stay private, stay discreet, and do not tell everyone everything. It is self-care. Money is a tool, not the goal. Freedom is the goal. You are responsible for your own happiness. If you expect others to make you happy, you will always be disappointed. Do what no one else can do, and you will become what no one else can become. Stay calm. You have been through this before, and you will get through it again. A negative mind will never give you a positive life. If people treat you as an option, leave them as a choice. Value experience over possessions, because memories are life's true treasures. Accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. Many people love you. Do not focus on those who do not. You deserve it all. The career, the love, the family, the peace, the life. Your vision will be blurry, but it will become clear over time. Patience is your ally. Never forget who helped you in a difficult time. You are enough for yourself. You have nothing to prove to anyone. No matter how hard the past has been, you can always start again. Sometimes you have to go through the worst to get the best. Stay alone until you are valued. Take care of your body. Remember that health is another form of wealth. If you can make a girl laugh, you can make her do anything. Tough times will always reveal true friends. Better days are coming. You will not always wake up in the morning with a heavy heart. Your strongest muscle and worst enemy is your mind. Train it. Someone else's progress does not make your progress less valuable. Never let the same people disappoint you twice. Accept that some people love to point fingers and blame others. You will be blamed for things you have not done and for things that have not even happened. Stop complaining and lamenting. It is wasted energy. Who is listening anyway? Understand that you cannot control everything or everyone, but you can control yourself, and that is even better. Always move in your own direction, not according to society, friends, or family. Leave the house messy and the yard uncut over the weekend. You will remember the fun, not the clean house or yard. Make time for fun. Learn to say no. Be frugal. Eat only real foods, no wheat, and limit carbs. The more you know, the dumber you will sound to stupid people. Pay attention to the negative signals people emit and disconnect immediately. It will save you a lot of pain and, most importantly, wasted time. Never take on responsibilities that are not yours. Never sell yourself short, and trust your instincts. And most importantly, never take your loved ones for granted. Set firm boundaries and be selective about who you allow into your life. If you want to help yourself, find someone worthy to serve. Through service, you gain experience, contacts, and a reputation as a reliable and responsible ally. Only through practical learning does one become a master. In real estate, rent and buy what you can afford. The fewer possessions you have, the less burden you will have in your life. Life is often very ambiguous. Sometimes there is no right or wrong decision or choice. You may not get the answer, so sometimes you just have to improvise. Do not leave someone to teach them a lesson. Leave them because you learned yours. Life is far from over, but it is also very short. If you want to do something, do not delay, but do not sacrifice what you want for what you want now. When in doubt, just take the next small step. Make and keep friends with people you want to emulate, not with people you think are more likely to accept you. The people you associate with will shape your future. Be careful whom you marry, and even more careful whom you have children with. Stop and realize that mistakes are essential to learning anything. Get moving before you get older. The older you are, the harder it is to change. No one cares except family. Start saving your money. Do not spend it on houses you cannot afford, fancy cars, and maxed out credit cards. In the end, you will be much happier. Nothing is as bad as it seems, nor as great as you think it will be. Take good care of your health. Without health, nothing will matter. No amount of money can bring you joy if you are suffering. Get married before 30. Have children before 35. Work and earn actively and sufficiently until before 40. Make passive income viable before 50. Plan to retire from work before 60. Do everything for family, but expect nothing in return, not even from your spouse. The first duty of love is to listen. The courage to be is the courage to accept oneself despite being unacceptable. Health far surpasses all other blessings of life. A truly healthy beggar is happier than a sick king. Hope, in reality, is the worst of all evils because it prolongs the torments of man. No one can build for you the bridge upon which you must cross the river of life. No one but yourself. Willpower is to the mind as a blind strong man carrying a lame man who can see. Sleep is the interest we must pay on the capital called death, and the higher the rate of interest and the more regularly it is paid, the longer the redemption date is postponed. Dull your sensitivities so that life hurts you as little as possible. Employ your time in bettering yourself by other men's writings so that you can easily gain what others have worked hard for. Be careful with whom you associate. It is human to imitate the habits of those we interact with. We inadvertently adopt their interests, opinions, values, and their habit of interpreting events. In old age, we all regret not having killed the laziness in ourselves. When we talk senselessly about trivial things, we ourselves become trivial because our attention is focused on trivialities. You become what you pay attention to. In anger, we must abstain both from speech and action. The bravest sight in the world is to see a great man struggling against adversity. Choose not to be harmed, and you will not feel harmed. Do not feel harmed, and you have not been. Limit yourself to the present. The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul adopts the color of your thoughts. Do not indulge in dreams of having what you do not have, but value the main blessings you possess, and remember with gratitude how you would wish for them if they were not yours. Sometimes you must yield to win, and sometimes staying in a low place leads to winning. Excessive pride brings disaster for man. The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. Do your best to treat others as you would like to be treated, and you will find that this is the shortest path to benevolence. Longing is the agony of the nearness of the distant. He who has not tasted bitter things has not earned sweet things. Nothing is as difficult as not deceiving oneself. You cannot think decently if you are not willing to hurt yourself. People often know what they frequently do. They know why they do what they do, but what they do not know is what does what they do. Where there is power, there is resistance. Do not think that one must be sad to be militant, even though the thing one fights against is abominable. The sad truth is that most evil is done by people who never decide to be good or bad. Forgiveness is the key to action and freedom. To love at all is to be vulnerable. Love anything, and your heart will be wrung and possibly broken. If you want to make sure of keeping it intact, you must not give it to anyone, not even an animal. Crying is all right in its way while it lasts, but you must stop sooner or later, and then you will still have to decide what to do. I have learned now that while those who speak about one's miseries usually hurt, those who keep silent hurt more. A proud man is always looking down on things and people, and of course, as long as you're looking down, you cannot see something that is above you. Malicious words can hurt your feelings, but silence breaks your heart. An intelligent person never gives a second chance in 3 situations: when trust is broken, when love fades, and when time is wasted, recognizing these as the irreplaceable currencies of life's wealth. Pride does not derive pleasure from having something, but from having more of it than the next man. It is comparison that makes you proud, the pleasure of being above the rest. Once the element of competition disappears, pride disappears. The only true abundance is for those who do not desire more than they have. To save oneself from pain at all costs can only be achieved at the cost of total detachment that excludes the capacity to experience happiness. Man's main task in life is to give birth to himself, to become what he potentially is. The most important product of his effort is his own personality. There is no meaning in life except what man gives it by the development of his powers. I learned this at least by my experiment, that if one advances confidently in the direction of his dream and endeavors to live the life he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. The question is not what you look at, but what you see. Do not be overly moral. You may cheat yourself out of much life, so aim above morality. Do not be simply good. Be good for something. Our life is frittered away by detail. Simplify things. Do not change. We change. It is never too late to give up your prejudices. The heart has its reasons which reason knows not. People almost invariably arrive at their beliefs not on the basis of proof, but on the basis of what they find attractive. An intelligent person never shows emotions in three situations: when facing ignorance, during personal success, and in moments of deep disappointment. We always admire what we really do not understand. If you want people to think well of you, do not speak well of yourself. Distraction is the only thing that consoles us for our miseries, and yet it is the greatest of our miseries. A person must dream to see the meaning of life. Judge a man by his questions rather than by his answers. Life is a shipwreck, but we must not forget to sing in the lifeboats. Value those who seek the truth, but beware of those who find it. He who knows how to be poor knows everything. You will never be happy if you continue to search for what happiness consists of. You will never live if you are looking for the meaning of life. The only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion. To be happy, we must not be too concerned with others. To understand the world, sometimes one has to turn away from it. People rush to judge so as not to be judged themselves. You can never experience everything, so please do poetic justice to your soul and simply experience it. If you are content to start with doubts, you will end in certainties. Hope is a good breakfast, but it is a bad supper. For the light to shine brightly, darkness must be present. It is impossible to love and be wise. There is no comparison between what is lost by not succeeding and what is lost by not trying. We are like chameleons. We take our hue and the color of our moral character from those around us. No one's knowledge can go beyond their experience. What worries you masters you. The most precious possession of all is power over ourselves. Bad men need nothing more to compass their ends than that good men should look on and do nothing. I have learned to seek my happiness by limiting my desires, rather than in attempting to satisfy them. Happy is he whose circumstances suit his temper, but he is more excellent who can suit his temper to any circumstances. The first thing you must know is yourself. A man who knows himself can step outside himself and watch his own reactions like an observer. Never complain about what is always within your power to remove. The problems worth attacking prove their worth by fighting back. Life is very short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future. Life, if well lived, is long enough. A man who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future. The mind that is anxious about the future is miserable. All cruelty springs from weakness. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. We fall in love when our imagination projects a perfection that does not exist onto another person. One day the fantasy evaporates, and with it, the love dies. Only he who attempts the absurd is capable of achieving the impossible. I have never dealt with anything more difficult than my own soul, which sometimes helps me and sometimes opposes me. Women want to be loved not because they are beautiful, good, well-educated or intelligent, but because they are themselves. Time is only the space between our memories. As soon as we cease to perceive this space, time has disappeared. Love ceases to be a demon only when it ceases to be a god. I'm amazed how sharing our weaknesses and difficulties is more nourishing to others than sharing our qualities and successes. Many people are good at talking about what they are doing, but in fact do little. Others do a lot but do not talk about it. They are the ones who make a community live. When we love and respect people revealing their value, they can begin to come out from behind the walls that protect them. People cannot accept their own evil if they do not feel at the same time love, respect, and confidence. If the path before you is clear, you are probably on someone else's. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Thinking is difficult. That is why most people judge. Even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness, and the word happy would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. Man needs difficulties. They are necessary for health. Loneliness does not come from having no people around, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to oneself, or from holding certain views which others find inadmissible. Life really begins at 40. Up until then, you are just doing research. The greatest and most important problems of life are all fundamentally insoluble. They can never be solved, but only outgrown. Man can endure the most difficult trials if he sees meaning in them. The true difficulty lies in creating that meaning. Do not cling to those who leave, otherwise you will not meet those who come. Doubt is not the opposite of faith. It is an element of faith. The first duty of love is to listen. The courage to be is the courage to accept oneself, despite being unacceptable. Health far surpasses all other blessings of life. A truly healthy beggar is happier than a sick king. The first rule is to keep a calm spirit. The second is to look things in the face and know them for what they are. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. Our plans fail because they have no aim. When a man does not know to what port he is steering, no wind is favorable. The most powerful is he who has himself in his own power. Beware of the man who urges an action in which he himself incurs no risk. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. Just because something seems difficult to you, do not think it impossible for anyone to achieve. Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what is left and live it properly. Nowhere can man find a quieter or less troubled retreat than in his own soul. The more honest a man is, the less he suspects dishonesty in others. A low soul always presupposes the most lowly motives for noble acts. Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears. 3 things never come back: the arrow shot, the word spoken, and the opportunity lost. Therefore, do not waste time. Choose words wisely, and do not miss the opportunity. A healthy man wants 1,000 things. A sick man only wants one. Opportunities multiply as they are seized. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. If you make a mistake and do not correct it, this is called a mistake. Attack the evil that is within yourself instead of attacking the evil that is in others. Silence is a true friend who never betrays. What the superior man seeks is in himself. What the small man seeks is in others. Being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Do not resist them. That only creates sorrow. Let reality be reality. Let things flow naturally forward in whatever way they like. Respond intelligently, even to unintelligent treatment. Act without expectations. Never allow someone to be your priority while allowing yourself to be their option. If you tell the truth, you do not have to remember anything. Do something every day that you do not want to do. This is the golden rule for acquiring the habit of doing your duty without pain. Never tell the truth to people who are not worthy of it. All you need in this life is ignorance and confidence. Then success is sure. From love arises hatred for those things that are contrary to what we love, or that oppose and frustrate what delights us. The harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. What we obtain too cheaply, we esteem too lightly. I love the man who can smile in trouble, who can gather strength from distress, and grow brave by reflection. He who dares not offend cannot be honest. Character is much easier kept than recovered. Finish each day and be done with it. You have done what you could. Some blunders and absurdities have crept in. Forget them as soon as you can. Tomorrow is a new day. You shall begin it serenely and with too high a spirit to be encumbered with your old nonsense. The purpose of life is not to be happy. It is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well. Dare to live the life you have dreamed for yourself. Go forward and make your dreams come true. Action does not always bring happiness, but there is no happiness without action. The art of being wise is the art of knowing what to overlook. The greatest discovery of any generation is that a human being can alter his life by altering his attitude. Do not be afraid of life. Believe that life is worth living, and your belief will help create the fact. The great use of life is to spend it for something that will outlast it. Our view of the world is truly shaped by what we decide to see. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Those who do not seek happiness are the most likely to find it, because those who seek forget that the surest way to be happy is to seek happiness for others. If you want to be a true seeker of truth, it is necessary that at least once in your life you doubt, as far as possible, all things. Freedom is what we do with what is done to us. 3 o'clock is always too late or too early for anything you want to do. Every word has consequences, every silence too. Those who are most slow in making a promise are the most faithful in the performance of it. Man is born free, and everywhere he is in chains. Those who think themselves masters of others are indeed greater slaves than they. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Cease to be a slave of your mind, dragged by selfish impulses, rebelling against fate in the present and distrusting the future. It is not so much the help of our friends that helps us, as the confidence of their help. Either be silent, or let your words be worth more than silence. Respond to criticism with achievements. From the perspective of youth, life is an endless future. From the perspective of old age, it is a very short past. A wise person always hides 3 things about himself: his weaknesses, his sources of wisdom, and his true aspirations. When we lose one blessing, often another is most unexpectedly given in its place. Depression is like a woman in black. If she turns up, do not shoo her away. Invite her in, offer her a seat, and listen to what she wants to say. Improve yourself. That is the only thing you can do to improve the world. Everywhere, man the nature and fate. However, his fate is mostly only the echo of his character and passion, his errors and weaknesses. Life is a series of decisions regarding the future. It is not the sum of what we have been, but of what we long to be. Money is a great servant, but a bad master. People who know little are usually great talkers, while men who know much say little. Always do what you fear to do. There is never any need to get worked up or to torment your soul about things you cannot control. Those things do not ask for your judgment. Leave them alone. Things never happen the same way twice. Anger, if not restrained, is often more hurtful than the injury that provokes it. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. Man conquers the world by conquering himself. Form a very favorable opinion of a person at the beginning of your acquaintance. Otherwise, in most cases, you will be disappointed. A man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. Happiness is the only thing that doubles when shared. He who attaches much value to the opinions of others pays them too much honor. If we suspect someone of lying, we should pretend to believe him, for then he becomes bold and lies more vigorously and is unmasked. Prayers do not change the world, but they change people, and people change the world. Rules for happiness, something to do, someone to love, something to look forward to. If you love something so much, let it go. If it comes back, it was meant to be. If not, it was never meant to be. Give a person everything they desire, and at that very moment they will feel that this is not everything. We are rich not by what we possess, but by what we can do without. The most spiritual people experience the most painful tragedies, but precisely because of this, they honor life because it provides their greatest adversities. The fault of young people is that they think they are more happy or unhappy than they actually are. A bad person cannot be happy for being alone with himself. He is left alone with the villain. Many people know they are unhappy, but even more people do not know they are happy. The kinder a person is, the less he notices bad in others. The future comes slowly, the present flies, and the past remains motionless forever. The intelligent do not seek solitude so much as they avoid the hustle created by fools. The greatest of follies is to sacrifice health for any other kind of happiness. A man can be himself only as long as he is alone, and if he does not love solitude, he will not love freedom, for it is only when he is alone that he is really free. To be entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love. The virtuous man is content to dream what the wicked man does in actual life. You will find love only where you can show weakness without provoking strength. One cannot be deeply responsive to the world without being saddened very often. Man's main task is to give birth to himself. To be happy is to be able to become aware of oneself without fright. Only to those without hope is hope given. Intelligent people learn from everything and everyone. Average people from their experiences. Stupid people already have all the answers. Circumstances do not make the man. They only reveal him to himself. Do not chase happiness. It is always inside you. The right question is usually more important than the right answer. No man steps into the same river twice, for it is not the same river, and he is not the same man. A confident person avoids two things in life: idle gossip and minor conflicts, choosing instead to cultivate understanding and foster harmony. Pretentious speeches are the first sign of weakness, and those capable of great things keep their mouths shut. There are things far, far better ahead than any we leave behind. The most harmful thing is to want to avoid mistakes. While a word remains unspoken, you are its master. Once you speak it, you are its slave. Act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. The more we dwell on our misfortunes, the greater is their power to harm us. Only two things we'll regret on our deathbed: that we are little loved and little traveled. Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner. Eventually, all things fall into place. Until then, laugh at the confusion, live for the moments, and know that everything happens for a reason. Problems are not solved by giving new information, but by arranging what we have known for a long time. He will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight. Happiness is nothing more than good health and a bad memory. Except for our own thoughts, there is nothing absolutely in our power. Do not tell your friend what your enemy should not know. One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. You are alone not because nobody needs you, but because you care who is by your side. Those who aspire to great things will also suffer greatly. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. When you are content to be simply yourself and do not compare or compete, everyone will respect you. Why should you feel anger at the world, as if the world noticed? We should try to be the parents of our future, rather than the descendants of our past. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Stay away from people who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that, but the really great ones make you feel that you too can become great. Only time can heal what reason cannot. Giving away someone else's secret is betrayal. Giving away your own is foolishness. We strive harder to persuade others that we are happy than in trying to think so ourselves. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. While we are postponing life, life speeds by. The true man smiles in trouble, gathers strength from distress, and grows brave by reflection. We feel more alive the more we are aware of life. Kind words do not cost much, but they accomplish much. Always go too far, because that is where you will find the truth. Without effort and willingness to experience pain and anxiety, no one grows. Indeed, no one achieves anything worthy of achievement. Adventures are never fun while you are having them. I do not feel that it is necessary to know exactly who I am. The main interest in life and work is to become someone else that you were not in the beginning. The real question about life after death is not whether or not it exists. But even if it does, what problem does this really solve? If you possess something but you cannot give it away, then you do not possess it. It possesses you. Where your fear is, there is your task. Do you want to know the art of living, my friend? It is contained in one phrase: make use of suffering. The man who has no inner life is a slave to his surroundings. Divide each difficulty into as many parts as is feasible and necessary to resolve it. Staying in the past means being dead. My friend is he who will tell me my faults in private. No evil propensity of the human heart is so powerful that it may not be subdued by discipline. No man ever threw away his life while it was worth keeping. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. You will never regret telling someone you love them. Do it before it is too late. Save a little every week or month. Nothing gives happiness like a financial cushion. Believe it or not, if it is not broken, do not fix it. Be loyal or stay single. It is that simple. Expect nothing. Appreciate everything. Be grateful for the little things in your life. To find inner peace, do your best and trust the process. The harder you work, the luckier you get. Never take anything personally. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality. Be forgiving, be understanding, but do not be a fool. Never say maybe if you mean no. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Your self-respect must be stronger than your feelings. Do not let success get to your head or failure get to your heart. The best way to respect yourself is to discipline yourself. If you are generous, remember to learn your limits because takers do not have any. Do not waste time explaining yourself. People only hear what they want to hear. Accept criticism, but never accept disrespect. Never give up on something you really want. Waiting is hard, but regretting is harder. When you are angry, stay silent. You have 3 choices in life. You can watch things happen, make things happen, or wonder what the hell happened. Stay strong, even when things start to fall apart. You are judged no matter what, so be who you want to be. You do not have to win every argument. Accept to agree to disagree. No regrets, just lessons. No worries, just acceptance. No expectations, just gratitude. Life is too short. The quieter you become, the more you can hear. The more interested you are in others, the more interesting you will find yourself. Be interesting by being interested. If you do not occasionally fall, you are just sliding. Hate is a curse that does not affect the hated. It only poisons the hater. Release a grudge as if it were poison. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. People change, love hurts, friends leave, and things go wrong. But remember that life goes on. Learn to say no without explaining yourself. Be a good person, but do not waste time proving it. Never tell your plans to your friends. Stop trusting them too much. Do not let anyone know what you are doing until it is done. If you want to be trusted, be honest. The only person who cares about your dreams and hopes is you. The only person who will make them come true is you. Forget what hurts you, but never forget what it taught you. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Even the nicest people have their limits. Your direction is more important than your speed. Control your thoughts, or your thoughts will control you. Do not overshare personal information. Privacy is power. Do not make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. To be the best, you must be able to handle the worst. As long as you are alive, no obstacle is permanent. You learn nothing from life if you think you are always right. Keep patience. The best things happen unexpectedly. Never regret a day in your life. Good days give happiness, bad days give experience, worst days give lessons, and the best days give memories. Life is a one-time offer. Use it well. Be yourself. People do not have to like you, and you do not have to care. Free yourself from society's advice. Most of them have no idea what they are doing. At first, it hurts. Then it makes you stronger. Normalize walking some paths alone because goals are personal. The family you create is more important than the family you come from. Life is short. Live it. Love is rare. Grab it. Anger is bad. Deal with it. Memories are sweet. Cherish them. Just because you miss someone does not mean you need them back in your life. Missing is part of the process of moving on. Before you get old, attend as many funerals as you can bear, and listen. No one talks about the deceased's achievements. The only thing people will remember is what kind of person you were while achieving. Have at least one person in your life who gives you honest opinions. It is good to be generous, kind, and magnanimous, but there is a limit or you will be taken for granted. Holding on to things will always stress you out more. Things do not happen a certain way just because you want them to happen that way. Learn from what people do, not what they tell you. Do not react angrily right away. Wait for it to cool down. What is said or done in anger is irreversible. Do not overshare. Privacy is power. Do not regret the past, because at that time you did your best. People will see you for what you are, not for what you need them to be. Never jump to conclusions. Be insightful and let people show you their true colors. Never underestimate contempt. When someone looks at you with contempt and talks to you as if you were inferior, they are likely to harm you, whether in relationships, socially, or physically. Remove that person from your life. Never lend money because you can lend it to friends for a few days, but recovering it from fools takes years. Never share your problems with friends before finding a solution. No matter how challenging it is, do not show your weaknesses. People will enjoy the show. Do not be weak in front of them. Listen to people who tell you what you do not want to hear. Self-pity is dangerous. Stay away from it. Just because you are going through hell right now does not mean you will never smile again. Pain is purely temporary. You spend all your health initially for wealth, and then spend all your wealth for one day of good health. Holding grudges will never hurt the people you hate, only you. Time defines you. You will not be defined well by anything else but time. Time is the most powerful force. No matter how much you fight, it will do what it wants. The only constant in life is change. Embrace it and you will grow. Say please and thank you often. You cannot change the past, but you can shape your future by learning from it. The heaviest burden we carry is the weight of our expectations. It is better to be alone than in bad company. When you stop chasing the wrong things, the right things catch up to you. There are no shortcuts to any place worth going. You never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. Do not let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. The best way to gain self-confidence is to do what you fear to do. A river cuts through rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence. There is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. The greatest risk is not taking any. Happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present. Your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. You are limited only by the walls you build yourself. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot. Take time to enjoy the simple pleasures of life. In these moments, we often find the greatest joy. Give without expecting anything in return. The only time you should look back is to see how far you have come. If the path before you is clear, you are probably following someone else's. Resentment is like drinking poison and hoping it kills your enemies. Life is not about having good cards, but about playing a poor hand well. Be careful who you call your friends. I would rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. Beware of little expenses. A small leak will sink a great ship. Whatever begins in anger ends in shame. He who laughs at himself never runs out of things to laugh at. Making decisions is like coffee. It needs a cooling process. People are excellent at keeping secrets they do not even know. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. Do not judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds you plant. If you want to get rich, think of saving as earning. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Life can only be understood backward, but it must be lived forward. Great results can be achieved with small efforts. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. Everyone falls. Getting up is how you learn to walk. Be silent, or make your words worth more than silence. Spend your money on things money can buy. Spend your time on things money cannot buy. A busy man is rarely visited by idle friends. Flies do not go to a boiling pot. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle, and its life will not be shortened. Happiness does not diminish when shared. People never lie so much as before an election, during a war, or after a hunt. Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how. Circumstances make the man, not man's circumstances. Within all of us, there are 2 wolves fighting. The first is bad, and the second is good. Which wolf will win? The one you feed. A goal is a dream with a deadline. Write your sad moments in the sand. Write your happy moments in stone. Do not put off until tomorrow what you can do today. Love your neighbor as yourself. Do not judge your greatness by your shadow at sunset. Never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. Being a friend to all is being a friend to none. Better a broken promise than none at all. Both optimists and pessimists contribute to society. The optimist invents the airplane, the pessimist, the parachute. A woman's guess is much more accurate than a man's certainty. Ignorance is the root and stem of all evil. He who is not content with little will not be content with anything. The shadow is like a stranger on a sunny day. Run, it will not flee. On a cloudy day, seek it, you will not find it. Understanding a thing is half an answer. What we know is a drop. What we do not know is an ocean. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Perfection is achieved not when there is nothing more to add, but when there is nothing left to take away. Simplicity is the outcome of maturity. Never ruin an apology with an excuse. Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. It always seems impossible until it is done. How many things would you attempt if you knew you could not fail? Getting married means having rights and doubling your responsibilities. What does not kill us makes us stronger. Fear does not exist anywhere except in the mind. You cannot wait for inspiration. You have to go after it with a club. The life of the dead is placed in the memory of the living. Procrastination is the thief of time. If life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Judge a man by his questions rather than by his answers. Your ambition is bounded by your laziness. The noblest work of God is a man who has discovered the man. Be correct with everyone, sociable with many, close to the chosen friend of a few. When you were born, you cried and the world rejoiced. Live your life so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice. One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. Where is your fear? There is your task. Those who are hardest to love are the ones who need it the most. If you can dream it, you can do it. Do not seek approval, except for the consciousness of doing better. It is better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Time is sufficient for anyone who uses it. Thinking is the hardest work there is, which is probably why so few people do it. Do what you can with what you have, where you are. We all love ourselves more than other people, but we care more about their opinion than our own. What the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. The punishment of the liar is not so much that he is not believed, but that he cannot believe anyone else. Experience is the teacher of all things. An abnormal reaction to an abnormal situation is normal behavior. The most important thing we learn in school is that the most important things cannot be learned in school. One who looks into a puddle sees dirt in it. The other sees stars reflected. A happy marriage is a long conversation that always seems too short. Anyone capable of angering you becomes your master. He can anger you only when you permit yourself to be disturbed by him. Nothing is impossible for him who tries. Time passes slowly when you follow it. Feel it is being followed. To think that someone else can make you happy or unhappy is ridiculous. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Words can be like X-rays. If used properly, they will go through anything you read, and you will pierce you. Through discipline comes freedom. Of all the liars in the world, sometimes the worst are our own fears. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. There are only 3 events in a man's life: to be born, to live, and to die. He is not conscious of being born. He dies with pain, and he forgets to live. A man who dares to waste 1 hour of time has not discovered the value of life. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a harder battle. If your hate could be turned into electricity, it would light up the whole world. Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you do not have. Remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. Tact is the ability to make a point without making an enemy. Putting everything in balance is good. Putting everything in harmony is better. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. Only a fool learns from his own mistakes. The wise man learns from the mistakes of others. If you light a lamp for someone else, it will also brighten your path. If you can do what you do best and be happy, you are further along in life than most people. When your work speaks for itself, do not interrupt it. All progress occurs outside the comfort zone. I have learned that while those who comment on one's misfortunes usually hurt, those who opt for silence hurt more. An arrogant individual is always looking down on things and people, and of course, as long as you are looking down, you cannot appreciate what is above you. If it is not appropriate, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Take control of your impulses. Derogatory words can hurt your feelings, but silence breaks your heart. A perceptive individual never shows emotions in 3 situations: when facing ignorance, during personal achievement, and in moments of deep disappointment. We always admire what we truly do not understand. If you want people to have a good opinion of you, do not speak well of yourself. Distraction is the only thing that consoles us for our miseries, yet it is the greatest of our miseries. A person must dream to discern the meaning of life. There are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind. A goal without a plan is just a wish. The future comes slowly, the present flies, and the past remains still forever. The highest activity a human being can attain is learning for understanding, because to understand is to be free. He who controls the past controls the future. He who controls the present controls the past. Appear weak when you are strong, strong when you are weak. Time is money. If you wish to forget anything instantly, make a note that this thing is to be remembered. Everyone, at some time or other, sits down to a banquet of consequences. He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary. Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. The fear of death increases in exact proportion to the increase in wealth. Whoever violates trust once loses it forever. Life was not intended to make us perfect. Whoever is perfect belongs in a museum. The reason worry kills more people than work is that more people worry than work. Everything happens for a reason, and everything that happens for a reason. You have now reached the halfway mark of the video. I congratulate you for trying to become a better version of yourself, and I also humbly ask you to leave a comment, as it helps my channel immensely. If you do not know what to comment, just write "mind over body" so I know you reached this far. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Also, I've linked some books on Stoicism that helped me become the man I am today, and will also help you achieve a Stoic mindset. What happens before death is what counts. It is better to offer no excuse than a bad one. Men always want to be a woman's first love. Women prefer to be a man's last romance. Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed. If you want to change others, why not start with yourself? It is much more productive and far less dangerous. The ability to forget means sanity. The secret to success is doing common things uncommonly well. Laws are like spider webs. They can catch small flies, but let wasps and hornets through. Your enemies can kill you, but only your friends can hurt you. Never close your lips to those to whom you have already opened your heart. You can only overcome bad habits today, not tomorrow. To lead people, walk behind them. The first one to arrive gets the oyster, the second one gets the shell. It is better to make an approximately right decision than to make a precisely wrong one. Never compete with someone who has nothing to lose. If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. No woman or man really knows what perfect love is until they have been married for a quarter of a century. The world belongs to the patient. Seek wisdom, not knowledge. Knowledge is of the past, wisdom is of the future. The only person you have to compare yourself with is who you were in the past, and the only person better than you should be is who you are now. If a man knows more than others, he becomes lonely. Intelligent people learn from everything and everyone, average people from their experiences. Stupid people already have all the answers. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Things may come to those who wait, but only the things left by those who hustle. Success is stumbling from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. He who walks straight rarely stumbles. Nothing is particularly hard if you divide it into small jobs. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. What we do now echoes in eternity. If you can't do great things, do small things in a great way. Don't wait for the right opportunity. Create it. People willingly believe what they want to believe. The meaning of life is to give life meaning. You can hide memories, but you can't erase the history that produced them. Rules for happiness, something to do, someone to love, something to look forward to. A true woman loves a strong man because she knows his weaknesses. She protects him as much as she is protected. Nature gave us one tongue but two ears, so that we may listen twice as much as we speak. When we give someone our time, we are actually giving a part of our life that we will never get back. Fiction is the lie through which we tell the truth. Do not envy the good qualities of others, but cultivate them in yourself through admiration. Who of you, by worrying, can add a single hour to your life? Do not say a little in many words, but a lot in a few. If you want something done right, do it yourself. The secret of genius is to carry the spirit of the child into old age, which means never losing your enthusiasm. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Gardens are not made by singing, "Oh, how beautiful," and sitting in the shade. Nothing great was ever achieved without danger. The most exquisite pleasure is giving pleasure to others. We stopped looking for monsters under our bed when we realized they were inside us. Good people do not need laws to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way around them. What one man calls God, another calls the laws of physics. Death does not concern us because, as long as we exist, death is not here. And when it does come, we no longer exist. I would rather be a swineherd understood by pigs than a poet misunderstood by men. It is nothing to die. It is dreadful not to live. Non-violence is a weapon of the strong. What we learn from history is that no one learns from history. True love begins when nothing is expected in return. He who dares nothing need hope for nothing. No matter how thinly you slice something, there will always be two sides. Victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win. Love your enemies because they tell you your faults. Don't believe everything you hear and only half of what you see. Keep your fears to yourself, but share your courage with others. If a man does not know to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. Lead from behind and let others believe they are in front. Wealth is like seawater. The more we drink, the thirstier we become. The same applies to fame. If a woman is angry, it means she is not only wrong but also knows it. Love is an irresistible desire to be irresistibly desired. Learning to let go should be learned before learning to get. True men despise battle but will never run from it. We live in an age where unnecessary things are our only necessities. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Knowledge is not power until it is applied. How much money does it take to make a man happy? Just $1 more. Being angry is punishing yourself for the mistakes of others. Any man can make mistakes, but only an idiot persists in his error. Don't ask questions and you won't be told lies. It is better to light a small candle than to curse the darkness. He who is content with his lot is rich. Do more. The race is won by the horse that outpaces its rivals by a head. If each of us sweeps right under our feet, the whole world will be clean. A wise man gets more use from his enemies than a fool from his friends. Wisdom is not wisdom when it is derived only from books. A joke explained is no longer a joke. The shortest distance between 2 points is often unbearable. Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. Don't shake the green apple tree. When the apple is ripe, it will fall by itself. It doesn't take many words to tell the truth. Before diagnosing yourself with depression or low self-esteem, make sure you are not, in fact, simply surrounded by idiots. Thinking is difficult, which is why most people judge. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. If you are going through hell, keep going. If you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always got. Courage is not having the strength to go on. It is going on when you have no strength. Do every act of your life as if it were your last. The man who does more than he is paid for will soon be paid for more than he does. People who say it cannot be done should not interrupt those who are doing it. A profession should initially be an act of love, not a marriage of convenience. Women make men more sophisticated. Above all, never be afraid. The enemy who forces you to retreat is afraid of you at that very moment. Wealth does not consist in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Fortune favors the brave. Genius is a mind that knows its limits. Drop by drop, the vessel fills with water. In the same way, the wise man, gathering it little by little, fills himself with goodness. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Do not chase happiness. It is always within you. The best way to keep your word is not to give it. Experience is not what happens to a man. It is what a man does with what happens to him. What is a friend? A single soul dwelling in two bodies. He who travels fastest travels alone. It is better to act and regret than not to act and regret. Trying to forget someone means thinking about them all the time. There is nothing more unbearable than idleness. There is truth in wine and in children. The hard work of the future will be pressing buttons. The art of living well and the art of dying well are one. Live your life as an exclamation rather than an explanation. Your future self is watching you through your memories. You may not realize it when it happens, but a kick in the teeth may be the best thing for you. The trouble is, if you don't risk anything, you risk more. Hope itself is like a star. It is not seen in the sunshine of prosperity, only to be discovered in the night of adversity. You cannot turn back the clock, but you can wind it up again. One finds limits by pushing them. The past cannot be changed. The future is still in your power. If you hate starting over, stop giving up. Not all problems come to disrupt your life. Some come to clear your path. The limits of the possible can only be defined by going beyond them into the impossible. If you want to increase your success rate, double your failure rate. Adversity introduces a man to himself. If the path is beautiful, don't ask where it leads. All that we are is the result of all we have thought. The task ahead of you is never greater than the strength within you. The time you kill is not dead without exacting revenge. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. There are far better things ahead than any we leave behind. The future is always beginning now. Your best self has been waiting all your life. Don't keep it waiting any longer. One secret of success in life is for a man to be ready for his opportunity when it comes. There is meaning in every journey that is unknown to the traveler. Do not carry your mistakes around with you. Instead, place them under your feet and use them as stepping stones to rise above them. Once you realize you deserve a bright future, leaving behind your dark past is the best decision you will ever make. People are as happy as they decide to be. At some point, you have to divorce doing things other people want from you. The path to success and the path to failure are almost exactly the same. Wake up determined and go to bed satisfied. It is always too soon to quit. Growing up is losing some illusions to acquire others. You are always one decision away from a totally different life. Try not to become a man of success, but rather a man of value. Of all the sad words of tongue or pen, the saddest are these: it might have been. You cannot find peace by avoiding life. Do not be pushed around by the fears in your mind. Be led by the dreams in your heart. Your life is your story. Write it well and edit it often. No amount of regret can change the past, and no amount of worry can change the future. In 20 years, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did. The bad news is time flies. The good news is you are the pilot. Tell the truth, or someone will tell it for you. Choosing doubt as a philosophy of life is akin to choosing immobility as a means of transportation. Life shrinks or expands in proportion to your courage. Letting go means realizing that some people are part of your history, but not a part of your destiny. Courage is like a muscle. We strengthen it by use. If you give up on your dreams, what's left? If we all did the things we are capable of, we would literally astound ourselves. We aim above the mark to hit the mark. You cannot live your life for other people. You have to do what's right for you, even if it hurts some people you love. Sometimes good things fall apart so better things can come together. The world is round, and the place that seems like the end may also be the beginning. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Through it all, you are still you. Change the world by being yourself. Your talent determines what you can do. Your motivation determines how much you are willing to do. Your attitude determines how well you do it. You are always stronger and more resourceful than you think. Challenge and adversity are meant to help you know yourself. Storms hit your weaknesses, but unlock your true strength. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Worry does not empty tomorrow of its sorrow. It empties today of its strength. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Begin each day by telling yourself, today I shall meet with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness, all due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil. Reflect on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. Stop wasting time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. If anyone can show me that what I think or do is wrong, I will happily change, because I seek the truth, for which no one has ever been truly harmed. It is the person who continues in their self-deception and ignorance who is harmed. Hope is a waking dream. Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. He who has overcome his fears will truly be free. He who delights in solitude is either a wild beast or a god. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. No great mind has ever existed without a touch of madness. Happiness depends upon ourselves. Anyone can become angry. That is easy. But to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not within everyone's power and is not easy. The measure of a man is what he does with power. Ignorance is the root and stem of all evil. If women are expected to do the same work as men, we must teach them the same things. I am trying to think. Don't confuse me with the facts. There is truth in wine and children. Those who tell the stories rule society. Man is composed of three primary sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. The madness of love is the greatest of heaven's blessings. To educate is to teach our children to desire the right things. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a harder battle. Every heart sings a song incomplete until another heart whispers back. Those who wish to sing always find a song. With the touch of a lover, everyone becomes a poet. Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. Only the dead have seen the end of war. The price good men pay for indifference to public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. Do not train a child to learn by force or harshness, but direct them to it by what amuses their minds, so that you may be better able to discover with accuracy the peculiar bent of the genius of each. Wanting to be friends is quick work, but friendship is a slow ripening fruit. Happiness is the meaning and purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence. A friend to all is a friend to none. Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. Those who educate children well are more to be honored than those who produce them, for these only gave life, those the art of living well. The greatest penalty for declining to rule is to be ruled by someone inferior to yourself. According to Greek mythology, humans were originally created with 4 arms, 4 legs, and a head with 2 faces. Fearing their power, Zeus split them into 2 separate parts, condemning them to spend their lives in search of their other halves. I am the wisest man alive, for I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing. Never discourage anyone who continues to make progress, no matter how slow. Love is a serious mental disease. One of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. Good people do not need laws to tell them to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way around the laws. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. It takes very little to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all other men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinion of others. Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears. There are 3 classes of men: lovers of wisdom, lovers of honor, and lovers of gain. Courage is knowing what not to fear. In politics, we presume that everyone who knows how to get votes knows how to administer a city or a state. When we are ill, we do not ask for the handsomest physician or the most eloquent one. You should not honor men more than truth. There are 2 things a person should never be angry at: what they can help and what they cannot. When men speak ill of you, live so as nobody may believe them. The beginning is the most important part of the work. How can you prove whether at this moment we are sleeping and all our thoughts are a dream, or whether we are awake and talking to one another in the waking state? The object of education is to teach us to love what is beautiful. A house that has a library in it has a soul. Necessity is the mother of invention. Those who can see beyond the shadows and lies of their culture will never be understood, let alone believed, by the masses. Death is not the worst that can happen to men. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. Bodily exercise, when compulsory, does no harm to the body, but knowledge which is acquired under compulsion obtains no hold on the mind. Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. No man should bring children into the world who is unwilling to persevere to the end in their nature and education. Characters are simply long habits continued. An empty vessel makes the loudest sound, so they that have the least wit are the greatest babblers. Excellence is not a gift, but a skill that takes practice. We do not act rightly because we are excellent. In fact, we achieve excellence by acting rightly. Musical innovation is full of danger to the state, for when modes of music change, the fundamental laws of the state always change with them. You are my star, also a stargazer, and I wish I were the sky with a billion eyes to look at you. Love is simply the name for the desire and pursuit of the whole. People are like dirt. They can either nourish you and help you grow as a person, or they can stunt your growth and make you wilt and die. Good actions give strength to ourselves and inspire good actions in others. The soul takes nothing with her to the next world, but her education and her culture. At the beginning of the journey to the next world, one's education and culture can provide the greatest assistance or act as the greatest burden to the person who has just died. A hero is born among 100, a wise man is found among 1,000, but an accomplished one might not be found even among 100,000 men. I will teach children music, physics, and philosophy, but the most important is music, for in the patterns of music and all the arts are the keys to learning. Poets are the voice of great and wise things that they themselves do not understand. Perception is suffering. The more you know, the more you realize you don't know. The energy of the mind is the essence of life. It is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. He who cannot be a good follower cannot be a good leader. Without friends, no one would choose to live, even if he had all other goods. I count him braver who overcomes his desires than he who conquers his enemies, for the hardest victory is over oneself. Poverty is the mother of revolution and crime. The aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance. It is not enough to win a war. It is more important to organize the peace. The antidote for 50 enemies is one friend. The high-minded man must care more for the truth than for what people think. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. One swallow does not make a summer, neither does one fine day. Similarly, one day or a brief time of happiness does not make a person entirely happy. To write well, express yourself like the common people, but think like a wise man. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Learning is not child's play. We cannot learn without pain. Man is by nature a social animal. An individual who is unsocial naturally and not accidentally is either beneath our notice or more than human. Society precedes the individual. Anyone who either cannot lead the common life or is so self-sufficient as not to need to, and therefore does not partake in society, is either a beast or a god. All human actions have one or more of these 7 causes: chance, nature, compulsion, habit, reason, passion, and desire. It is not always the same thing to be a good man and a good citizen. Dignity does not consist in possessing honors, but in deserving them. Nature does nothing uselessly. All paid jobs absorb and degrade the mind. Wise men speak when they have something to say. Fools speak because they have to say something. Misfortune shows those who are not really friends. Your talents and the world's needs. There is your vocation. Learning is an ornament in prosperity, a refuge in adversity, and a provision in old age. Excellence is an art won by training and habituation. We do not act rightly because we have virtue or excellence, but we rather have those because we have acted rightly. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. The best revenge is not to be like your wrongdoer. Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together. but do so with all your heart. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. A goal is not always meant to be reached. It often serves simply as something to aim at. Always be yourself, express yourself, have faith in yourself. Do not go out and look for a successful personality and duplicate it. It is compassion, not the principle of justice, that can guard us against being unjust to our fellow men. Use only that which works, and take it from any place you find it. Do not be tense, but ready, not thinking but dreaming, not set, but flexible. Liberation from the uneasy sense of confinement. Be healthy and quietly alive, aware and alert, ready for whatever may come. A quick temper will make a fool of you quickly enough. Notice that the stiffest tree is most easily cracked, while the bamboo or willow survives by bending with the wind. A good teacher protects his pupils from his own influence. Empty your cup so that it may be filled. Become empty to gain totality. Defeat is not defeat unless accepted as a reality in your own mind. It is easy to criticize and break down the spirit of others, but knowing yourself takes a lifetime. The great mistake is to anticipate the outcome of the engagement. You ought not to be thinking whether it ends in victory or defeat. Let nature take its course, and your tools will strike at the right moment. When another blames you or hates you, or people voice similar criticisms, go to their souls, penetrate inside, and see what kind of people they are. You will realize that there is no need to be racked with anxiety that they should hold any particular opinion about you. The first rule is to keep an untroubled spirit. The second is to look things in the face and know them for what they are. The consequences of anger are more grievous than its causes. Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. Look well into yourself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if you will always look. Always look. Here is a rule to remember in the future. When anything tempts you to be bitter, do not say, "This is misfortune," but to bear this worthily is good fortune. How much time he gains who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks, but only at what he does himself, to make it just and holy. I am not in this world to live up to your expectations, and you are not in this world to live up to mine. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. Do not pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. Life's battles do not always go to the stronger or faster man. But sooner or later, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. It is not the daily increase, but the daily decrease. Hack away at the unessential. Adapt what is useful, reject what is useless, and add what is specifically your own. Do not stay in one form. Adapt, be like water. If you love life, do not waste time, for time is what life is made of. Be happy, but never satisfied. The more we value things, the less we value ourselves. With circumstances, I create opportunities. The successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus. Do not fear failure, not failure, but low aim is the crime. In great attempts, it is glorious even to fail. Time means a lot to me because, you see, I am also a learner and often lost in the joy of continually developing. No man was ever wise by chance. Until we begin to go without them, we fail to realize how unnecessary many things are. We have been using them not because we needed them, but because we had them. They lose the day in expectation of the night, and the night in fear of the dawn. So associate with people who are likely to improve you. He suffers more than necessary who suffers before it is necessary. I shall never be ashamed of citing a bad author if the line is good. Time heals what reason cannot. Ignorance is the cause of fear. Putting things off is the biggest waste of life. It snatches away each day as it comes and denies us the present by promising the future. The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which depends upon tomorrow and wastes today. You are arranging what is in fortune's control and abandoning what lies in yours. What are you looking at? To what goal are you straining? The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. As long as you live, keep learning how to live. The most powerful is he who has himself in his own power. Life is like a play. It is not the length, but the excellence of the acting that matters. Wealth is the slave of a wise man, the master of a fool. Enjoy present pleasures in such a way as not to injure future ones. If you live in harmony with nature, you will never be poor. If you live according to what others think, you will never be rich. The true life is living for others. The key to immortality is first living a life worth remembering. Having no way as a way, having no limitation as limitation. The idea is that flowing water never goes stale, so keep on flowing. Knowledge will give you power, but character respect. As you think, so shall you become. Mistakes are always forgivable if one has the courage to admit them. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. If you always put limits on everything you do, physical or anything else, it will spread into your work and into your life. There are no limits, there are only plateaus, and you must not stay there. You must go beyond them. If you spend too much time thinking about a thing, you'll never get it done. If you think something is impossible, you'll only make it impossible. The less effort, the faster and more powerful you will be. Love is like a friendship caught on fire. In the beginning, a flame, very pretty, often hot and fierce, but still only light and flickering. As love grows older, our hearts mature, and our love becomes as coals, deep burning and unquenchable. Many people dedicate their lives to actualizing a concept of what they should be, rather than actualizing themselves. This difference between self-actualization and self-image actualization is very important. Most people live only for their image. Self-knowledge involves relationship. To know oneself is to study oneself in action with another person. Relationship is a process of self-revelation. The relationship is the mirror in which you discover yourself. To be is to be related. Now I see that I will never find the light unless, like the candle, I am my own fuel. Habits dominate. They take things as they are, strike when they must strike, and kick when they must kick. Showing off is the fool's idea of glory. In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. Although we cannot control the roles we are assigned, it must be our business to act our given role as best as possible and to refrain from complaining about it. Wherever you are, whatever your circumstances, give an impeccable performance. First, learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak. Nothing great is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I answer that there must be time. Let it first blossom, then bear fruit, then ripen. People are not disturbed by things, but by the view they take of them. He is a wise man, who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. When your thoughts, words, and actions form a seamless fabric, you simplify your efforts and thus eliminate worry and dread. It is time to stop being vague if you wish to be an extraordinary person. If you wish to be wise, then explicitly identify the kind of person you aspire to become. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. A prosperous life cannot be achieved until we moderate our desires and see how superficial and fleeting they are. No man is free who is not master of himself. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. You would not seek to gain a victory by all means, and when you have found the truth, you need not fear being defeated. Let silence be your general rule, or say only what is necessary and in few words. First, know who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Circumstances do not make the man. They only reveal him to himself. The term superstar is an illusion. Only the self-sufficient stand alone. Most people follow the crowd and imitate all fixed and established patterns. They are incapable of adaptability or pliability. The truth is outside all fixed patterns. The living creature, the creating individual, is always more important than any established style or system. One's self-consciousness is the real stumbling block to the proper execution of all physical action. Emptiness is that which stands right in the middle between this and that. The emptiness includes everything. It has no opposite, no exclusion. It is a living emptiness because all forms come out of it, and whoever realizes the emptiness is filled with life, power, and the love of all beings. Remember, no man is really defeated unless he is discouraged. Art reaches its greatest peak when devoid of self-consciousness. Freedom discovers the man the moment he loses concern over what impression he is making or is about to make. Emotion can be the enemy. If you give in to your emotion, you lose yourself. You must be at one with your emotion because the body always follows the mind. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. The unexamined life is not worth living. I cannot teach anybody anything. I can only make them think. There is only one good knowledge and one evil ignorance. Wonder is the beginning of wisdom. Strong minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Weak minds discuss people. To find yourself, think for yourself. Education is the kindling of a flame, not the filling of a vessel. He who is not contented with what he has would not be contented with what he would like to have. Be slow to fall into friendship, but when you are in, continue firm and constant. If you do not get what you want, you suffer. If you get what you do not want, you suffer. Even when you get exactly what you want, you still suffer because you cannot hold on to it forever. Your mind is your predicament. It wants to be free of change, free of pain, free of the obligations of life and death. But change is law, and no amount of pretending will alter that reality. The beginning of wisdom is the definition of terms. You must never return evil for evil, nor mistreat any man, no matter how he has treated you. The important thing is not to live, but to live well. And to live well means, along with more enjoyable things in life, to live according to your principles. The easiest and noblest way is not to be crushing others, but to be improving yourself. He is richest who is content with the least, for content is the wealth of nature. Sometimes you put up walls not to keep people out, but to see who cares enough to break them down. No man has the right to be an amateur in the matter of physical training. It is a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength of which his body is capable. When the debate is lost, slander becomes the tool of the loser. The secret of happiness, you see, is not found in seeking more, but in developing the capacity to enjoy less. Know thyself. Let him who would move the world first move himself. Contentment is natural wealth. Luxury is artificial poverty. Employ your time in improving yourself by other men's writings, so that you shall gain easily what others have labored hard for. The only good is knowledge, and the only evil is ignorance. Do not do to others what angers you if done to you by others. True wisdom comes to each of us when we realize how little we understand about life, ourselves, and the world around us. From the deepest desires often come the deadliest hate. Be kinder than necessary to everyone you meet. Everyone is fighting some kind of battle. If you want to be a good harness maker, pick the worst horse, for if you can control him, you can control them all. My friend, take care of your psyche. Know thyself, for once we know ourselves, we may learn how to care for ourselves. The hottest love has the coldest end. Life contains two tragedies. One is not to get your heart's desire, the other is to get it. Envy is the ulcer of the soul. The greatest way to live with honor in this world is to be what we pretend to be. I know that I am intelligent because I know that I know nothing. Every action has its pleasures and its price. Prefer knowledge to wealth, for the one is transitory, the other perpetual. We cannot live better than in seeking to become better. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. Beware the barrenness of a busy life. Understanding a question is half an answer. Mortals act in all things too much from the fear of death, and too little from the love of life. Hold fast to youthful enthusiasms. You will be able to use them better when you are older. If a man does not know what port he is steering for, no wind is favorable. The power of the mind is to be unconquerable. It is not that we have so little time, but that we lose so much. The life we receive is not short, but we make it so. We are not ill-provided, but use what we have wastefully. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor. Begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. He who is brave is free. Why do we weep for parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears. If you really want to escape the things that harass you, what you're needing is not to be in a different place, but to be a different person. Sometimes, even living is an act of courage. True happiness is enjoying the present without anxious dependence on the future, not amusing ourselves with hopes or fears, but being satisfied with what we have, which is enough, for he who is content desires nothing. The greatest blessings of humanity are within us and at our reach. A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without desiring what he does not have. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. All cruelty springs from weakness. There is no easy path from earth to the stars. Difficulty strengthens the mind as labor does the body. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Life, like a story, doesn't matter how long it is, but how good it is. That is what matters. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddlesome, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous and surly. They are like this because they cannot distinguish good from evil. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature akin to mine, not of the same blood and birth, but of the same mind, and possessing a portion of the divine. So none of them can harm me. No one can implicate me in ugliness, nor can I feel angry at my relative or hate him. We were born to work together like feet, hands and eyes, like the two rows of teeth, upper and lower. To obstruct each other is unnatural. To feel anger at someone, to turn your back on him, these are obstructions. The road to success is dotted with many tempting parking spaces. What makes you unique is what makes you attractive. It is important to forgive ourselves for making mistakes. We need to learn from our errors and move on. Pain makes you stronger, tears make you braver, heartache makes you wiser. So thank the past for a better future. Most people spend more time and energy avoiding problems than trying to solve them. Absorb what is useful, discard what is not, and add what is uniquely your own. Just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, it became a butterfly. It is the small details that are vital. Little things make big things happen. We build too many walls and not enough bridges. I don't believe you have to be better than everyone else. I believe you have to be better than you ever thought you could be. Your past does not define you. It just gives you the starting point for who you're going to be. Sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. The only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary. Often, any decision, even the wrong decision, is better than no decision. Raise your words, not your voice. It is rain that grows flowers, not thunder. We may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. I am not a product of my circumstances. I am a product of my decisions. Truth is not for all men, but only for those who seek it. The first duty of a man is to think for himself. To be successful, jump quickly at opportunities as you do at conclusions. You cannot change what you are, only what you do. Resilience is knowing that you are the only one that has the power and the responsibility to pick yourself up. True wisdom requires both thinking with your head and understanding with your heart. Our anxiety does not come from thinking about the future, but from wanting to control it. You are the best thing you have. Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. The world you desire can be won. It exists, it is real, it is possible, it is yours. If a goal is worth having, it's worth blocking out the time in your day-to-day life necessary to achieve it. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Never let yesterday consume today. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. You must learn to let go, release the stress. You were never in control anyway. Opportunities do not happen, you create them. You have to fight through some bad days to earn the best days of your life. Life is just a race against time, so have fun. Life is a performance. It is not the length but the excellence of the acting that matters. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Let your intention be pure. We should each night call ourselves to account. What weakness did I master today? What passions opposed? What temptations resisted? What virtue acquired? Our vices will abate of themselves if they are brought every day to the bar of self-examination. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. The people you deal with today will be meddlesome, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are this way because they cannot distinguish good from evil. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to mine, not of the same blood or birth, but possessing a part of the divine. So none of them can harm me, no one can implicate me in ugliness, nor can I feel angry at my relative or hate him. We were born to work together like the feet, hands, and eyes, like the two rows of teeth, upper and lower. To obstruct each other is unnatural. To feel anger at someone, to turn your back on him, these are obstructions. In every place, at every moment, you have the option. Accept this event with humility. Treat this person as he should be treated. Deal with this thought with care so that nothing irrational creeps in. We shouldn't follow the herd of creatures in front of us like sheep, making our own way where others go, not where we ought to go. When people injure you, ask what good or harm they thought would come of it. If you understand that, you will feel sympathy rather than anger or resentment. Your sense of good and evil may be the same as theirs or close to it, in which case you should excuse them, or your sense of good and evil may differ from theirs, in which case they are mistaken and deserve your compassion. Is that so hard? Do everything as if you were being watched by another. Even if you are going to live 3,000 more years or 10 times that, Remember that you cannot lose another life than the one you are living now, nor live another than the one you are losing. The longest life and the shortest amount to the same. The present is the same for everyone, and its loss is the same for everyone. It should be clear that a brief instant is all that is lost, for you cannot lose either the past or the future. How could you lose what is not yours? Remember two things. One, that everything has always been the same and keeps recurring, and it makes no difference whether you see the same things recur in 100 years or 200 or in an infinite period. Two, that the longest lived and those who will die soonest lose the same thing. The present is all that they can give up, since that is all they have, and what they do not have, they cannot lose. The first step, don't be anxious. The nature controls it all, and before long you will be nobody nowhere, as Hadrian, as Augustus. The second step, concentrate on what you have to do. Fix your eyes on it. Remind yourself that your task is to be a good human being. Remind yourself what nature demands of people. Then do it without hesitation and speak the truth as you see it, but with kindness, with humility, without hypocrisy. On the verge of dying and still weighed down, still turbulent, still convinced that external things can harm you, still rude to other people, still not recognizing that the virtue is justice. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor. Yes, keep on degrading yourself, soul, but soon your chance at dignity will be gone. Everyone gets one life. Yours is almost over, and instead of treating yourself with respect, you have entrusted your own happiness to the souls of others. At feasts, the Spartans put their guest seats in the shade, but they sit anywhere. Therefore, two elements must be rooted out once and for all: the fear of future suffering and the memory of past suffering, for the latter no longer concerns me, and the former concerns me not yet. Look at who they really are, whose approval you crave, and what their minds are like. Then you won't blame those who make mistakes that they cannot help, nor will you feel the need for their approval. You will have seen the sources of both their judgments and their actions. Ignorant people see life as either existence or non-existence, but the wise see beyond both, beyond existence and non-existence, to something that transcends them both. This is an observation of the middle way. When you need encouragement, think of the qualities the people around you possess: the energy of one, the modesty of another, the generosity of another, and so on. Nothing is so encouraging as when virtues are visibly embodied in the people around us, when we practically see them filled with them. It is good to keep this in mind. We should give as we would receive, cheerfully, quickly, and without hesitation. But there is no grace in a benefit that sticks to the fingers. The mind that is anxious about the future is miserable. Your ability to control your thoughts, treat it with respect. It is all that protects your mind from false perceptions, false to your nature and that of all rational beings. It is what makes possible the reflection, affection for others, and submission to the divine. How to act? Never under compulsion, out of selfishness, without forethought, with misgivings. Do not dress your thoughts in fancy words or actions. Let the spirit within you represent a man, an adult, a citizen, a Roman, a ruler, taking up his post like a soldier and waiting for his recall from life, needing no oath or witnesses. Cheerfulness without requiring other people's help, or serenity supplied by others. Stand up straight, not straightened. Nothing is so wretched or foolish as to anticipate misfortunes. What madness it is to be expecting evil before it comes. Nothing happens to anybody which he is not fitted by nature to bear. The same thing happens to others, and they weather it unscathed, either through sheer ignorance or because they want to display character. Is their wisdom really so much weaker than your ignorance and vanity? Whatever any one of us reproves in another, each one will find in his own heart. If you perform the task in a principled way, with diligence, energy, and patience, if you keep yourself free of distractions and keep the spirit within you undamaged, as if you might have to give it back at any moment, if you embrace this without fear or expectation, fulfilling what you are doing now as nature intended and with a superhuman truthfulness in every word and sound, then your life will be happy. No one can prevent that. We have the potential for greatness present in all rational creatures, as in the very nature of rationality. And this is one of them. Just as nature takes every obstacle, every impediment and works around it, turns it to its purposes, incorporates it into itself, so too can a rational being turn each setback into raw material and use it to achieve its goal. Consult your friends in all things, especially in those that concern yourself. Their counsel may be useful where your own self-love might impair your judgment. Entering their minds, you will find the judges they fear and how they judge themselves wisely. Feeling affection for people, even when they make mistakes, is uniquely human. You can do it if you simply recognize that they are human too, that they act out of ignorance, against their will, and that both of you will be dead before long, and most of all, that they really have not done you any harm. They have not diminished your ability to choose. Expectation is the greatest impediment to living. In anticipation of tomorrow, it loses today. Have I done something for the common good so that I share in the benefits? Stay centered on that. Don't give up. A punishment to some is a sum, a gift, and to many a favor. Many incense pieces on the same altar. One crumbles now and another later, but it makes no difference. Life is the fire that burns and the sun that gives light. Life is the wind and the rain and the thunder in the sky. Life is matter and earth, what it is and what it is not, and what is beyond in eternity. Nothing that happens in the mind of any other person can harm you, nor can the shifts and changes of the world around you. Then where is the harm in your ability to see it? Stop doing that, and everything will be fine. Let the part of you that makes judgments remain silent, even if the body it is attached to is stabbed or burned, or reeks of pus or consumed by cancer. Or to put it another way, it needs to realize that what happens to everyone, good and bad alike, is neither good nor bad. That what happens in every life lived naturally or not is neither natural nor unnatural. He who does not prevent a crime when he can, encourages it. It's time to realize that you have something in you more powerful and miraculous than the things that affect you and make you dance like a puppet. What is in my thoughts at this moment? Fear, jealousy, desire, feelings like those. Stop what you're doing for a moment and ask yourself, am I afraid of death because I won't be able to do this anymore? If an action or word is appropriate, then it is appropriate for you. Don't be influenced by the comments and criticisms of others. If it is right to say or do, then it is the right thing for you to say or do. Others obey their own leadership, follow their own impulses. Do not be distracted, keep moving forward. Follow your own nature and follow nature along the path they share. The mind is the ruler of the soul. It should remain undisturbed by the agitations of the flesh, both gentle and violent, not mixing with them, but enclosing them and keeping those feelings in place. When they make their way into your thoughts through the sympathetic bond between mind and body, don't try to resist the sensation. The sensation is natural, but don't let the mind start with judgments, calling it good or bad. We should always allow some time to pass, for time reveals the truth. If you do not have a consistent goal in life, you cannot live in a consistent way. It is not useful unless you specify an objective. There is no common benchmark for all the things people consider good, except for some, the ones that affect us all. So the goal should be common, one civic. If you direct your energies towards that, your actions will be consistent and so will you. Someone despises me, That's his problem. Mine is not to do or say anything despicable. Someone hates me. His problem. Mine is to be patient and cheerful with everyone, including him. Be ready to show him his mistake, not with resentment or to show off my self-control, but honestly and straightforwardly like Foci. If I weren't pretending, this is how we should be inside, never allowing the gods to catch us feeling anger or resentment. Whenever you do what is proper to your nature and accept what the nature of the world has in store, whenever you work for the good of others by all means possible, what can harm you? He who does good to another also does good to himself. The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts. Color it with a series of thoughts like these. In any way you can live your life, you can live a good one. Lives are lived in the court. Then good ones can be two things. Things gravitate towards what they were meant for, towards their goal. The goal of a thing is what benefits it. It is good. The good of a rational being is selflessness. What we were born for, that is nothing new. Remember the humble things for the sake of the superior, and the superior for the sake of each other. Things that have consciousness are higher than those that do not, and those with logos are even higher. Everything that happens is bearable or not. If it is bearable, then bear it. Stop complaining. If it is unbearable, then stop complaining. Your destruction will mean its end too. Just remember that you can enjoy anything your mind can make bearable by treating it as in your interest to do so, in your interest or in your nature. If you seek tranquility, do less, or more precisely, do what is essential, what the logos of a social being requires, and in the necessary way, which brings a double satisfaction. Doing less better, because most of what we say and do is not essential. If you can eliminate it, you will have more time and more tranquility. Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? But we also need to eliminate unnecessary assumptions, as well as the unnecessary actions that follow. Don't let your imagination be crushed by life as a whole. Don't try to imagine everything bad that could happen. Focus on the present situation and ask, why is this so unbearable? Why can't I endure it? You will be embarrassed to answer. Then remind your mind that neither the past nor the future has any power over you, only the present, and even that can be minimized simply by setting its limits. And if your mind tries to assert that it cannot resist that, then keep it ashamed. We become wiser through adversity. Prosperity destroys our appreciation of what is right. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. It is normal to feel pain in your hands and feet if you are using your feet as feet and your hands as hands. And for a human being, feeling stress is normal if he is living a human life. And if it is normal, how can it be bad? There is no pleasure in having something that is not shared. To erase false perceptions, tell yourself, I have within me the capacity to keep my soul away from evil lust and all confusion, to see things as they are and treat them as they deserve. Do not overlook this innate ability. While we postpone, life speeds by. Now, if any part of this message has been helpful to you, leave us your like and comment, helping the algorithm recommend it to someone who needs it at this time. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss new videos. And if you look through the videos we've already uploaded, you're sure to find something to take with you.